the trenches trying to figure this out. Does anyone else have these complications or is it just me? I know it's not just me. So I think it is the live screen sharing. I really did just want to just do the regular screen on here and not so much on the riverside part of it all. But hey, you know, crazier things have happened. So I'm just happy that I got my webcam working. I feel like this is how I started the last time too. But y'all, like, I'm not super confident with this. And so it kind of makes me a little bit nervous. And I feel like my microphone was a little crazy last time too. So I'm like, is this thing on? Is this thing working? Yes, I do know that my webcam is working for me. So this is good news. My lips might not be syncing to my words, but we still look good. So that is all that matters here today. Y'all, I wanted to hop on here and talk about something that keeps popping up into my universe. And I keep hearing the terms and I keep asking questions, and it's been really interesting what I found out. I want to know how many people out there know about human design. So whenever I bring it up, people are like, human what? Human design? No, they don't know. A lot of people, I would say, I don't know, 9 out of the 10 people that I ask do not know what human design is. And to be totally honest, I didn't know what it was either up until a couple years ago, when I was invited to a anniversary party for Traveling Touch Massage. And my friend had a gathering of like-minded individuals and had, vendors out there and food and music, drinks, and fun. And it was a park kind of near Milwaukee. I don't remember exactly where it was, but somewhere a little south of me. And we brought our traveling show for DNA Hemp, where we were offering our CBD and wanted to kind of be on the scene to inform and educate people about the benefits and effects of CBD, as Shannon, the owner of the company, uses our CBD oil in her massages and finds that her clients really benefit from the CBD oil massages. Heck, I would too. I'm signed up for one of those. I can't wait to experience it myself. But so it's pretty cool. She was celebrating her grand opening and being in business and having a set client base, and it was just really joyful. They did yoga there, and they had sound baths and just a lot of lovely touches there. I remember you could take home a plant. It was great. But anyways, in there, I met this wonderful lady. Her name was Ellie Wade. And she was sitting there so zen with like a carpet rolled out and like good vibrations happening. I was just immediately attracted over by her. I was like, hello, what do you have going on here? And come to find out, she is trained and has specific knowledge in human design. And I was like, what is it? She's like, well, you can enter in this drawing and maybe we'll pick you for a free reading. And I was like, okay, yeah, I'm down for that. Let's go. And um, I was kind of curious about what human design was then. I went home and I was just really like, well, I don't know. I've never heard of this. I kind of thought of it kind of as like astrology, but she explained it as like a roadmap to your body. And I think that's kind of what like astrology does, your horoscope, so to speak. You look into your horoscope and some of it resonates with you, some of it doesn't. But either way, you're like, aha, maybe that's why I am how I am. And you'll get that a lot of times with readings too, using your exact date, time, and place that you were born can kind of give you an in-depth dive of your zodiac and your sun sign, your moon sign, and your rising sign, which I feel like you dive into that and all things really start to make sense. Not all of it resonates with you, I'm sure. And I'm sure I'm losing some of you like, woohoo, like whatever. if you've never looked into it, but I highly encourage. I think I talked about this on another episode about knowing your sun, moon, and rising sign, at least knowing it, and then kind of diving deeper into what that all means in relation to you and how you interact with the universe. It's really quite fascinating and interesting, and it resonates with me so much that it blew my mind. And that's kind of what human design reminds me of, is the zodiac, but for the body. And honestly, I've heard that like human design gives you a permission slip to be your most true and authentic self. So definitely when I hear this, I'm like, oh wow, like my ears are turned up. I'm like, let's go. I want to learn more. So I wasn't actually chosen for the free human design reading. My very best friend, Kelly Sunshine, who I miss so much, was actually chosen. But bless her gracious heart, she passed along the reading to moi. She's like, I'm not so sure about the human design. You be the guinea pig. You get the reading and tell me all about it. So I was like, well, you don't have to tell me twice. Let's go. And so I was excited. I contacted Ellie right away and I was like, Ellie, remember me from the traveling touch party? Yeah, can we schedule that? And she was so sweet. I could just feel her energy right over the phone. She was just so inviting and just soft in nature and understanding. I don't know how to explain Ellie. She is just one of a kind when you meet this certain kind of individual. And it takes a special somebody to be able to be tapped in and turned on to this kind of this healing, this quantum physics, if you will. It takes a really open mind to even hear this and learn about it. So I made an appointment with her. She came out to the DNA hemp farm, and I remember it was the sweetest day. We sat out on the porch or our patio here. And I think sounds of the farm was happening. There was a tractor in the background and wind chimes in there. And I was actually able to record the session. And that's how it got kind of brought back up into my universe, is because I was looking through my voice memos and the human design came up. And I was like, also too, with talking with other woke individuals, they're like, oh, what are you? And I forgot over the years. I was like, I don't know. Am I a manifestor? Am I a generator? It turns out I'm a projector. So and Ellie was so sweet as to email me the breakdown of what my chart all read and showed so I could reference this information. And that's exactly what I did. I dug it out of my email and then I uploaded it into the Gmail docs, printed it so I could sit with it, read it, kind of digest it a bit more. Now that I feel like I'm a little bit more attuned to these alternative healing modalities. And I was like, "Oh my gosh," as if hearing it for the first time, reading it again, really things started to click. I'm like, "Wow, yeah, I really resonate with that." Like, yeah, that just makes sense to me. Yeah, I'm feeling that on like a soul level. Like my intuition is saying, "Yes, yes, yes." Like, "I'm glad you found this. Look deeper." So what did I do? I plugged in that document in that sheet into my good friend Gemini in AI Google, and it actually came out with like a voice recording. It sounded like an interview of like what I was and what it all meant. And that was really easy for me to listen to too. And it was kind of different because not only did I get to hear it synthesized by Ellie, I also got to hear it synthesized by the computer, by the internet. And so I was like, wow, this is just all super fascinating stuff. And so as I find out in my human design chart to trust my intuition is always right, and so is yours. I felt so called to share this information and at least bring up the topic of like who knows of their human design, whether they know whether they're a projector, manifestor, or generator, and their different centers. I printed out a chart, and this is kind of the standard of what it would look like. Um, oh my gosh, my camera for the human design. And it looks something like this. And of course, my printer it was not printing in color, but I think it's actually really cool because it speaks to like the chakras too. Here we go. Yes. So the chakras and your energy centers there. And then I think it also uses quantum physics and some other theories of thought that kind of it loops it all together. And I kind of looked it up. I'm like, well, where did human design come from, and who came up with this? Turns out, um, it uses the four ancient wisdoms of Western astrology, used to calculate the chart based on birth date, time, location, the planets. It uses the Chinese or Ching. The 64 hexagrams of the Ching correspond to the gates in the human design chart. And it also incorporates the Hindu Brahmin chakra system. That's what really speaks to me. I feel like everything's energy. And if you can kind of use your intuition and your guide to pinpoint where the blockages is, where it's super open or where you excel, the chakra system kind of breaks down your energy centers for you and really start in a way that could make sense to just the average everyday individual. And then it also uses the Kabbalah. The Kabbalah. Correct me, I'm probably totally wrong. But it's the tree of life. And that channels the connect and connects the centers based on the Kabbalistic tree of life. So I was like, wow, because you've heard of all this stuff. I've heard of the chakras, I heard of the Ching, I heard of astrology, I've heard of the tree of life. And then I was like, wow, the human design kind of just maps it all together, which makes that absolutely mind blowing. And then it uses the two modern sciences of quantum physics, and where it is programmed by neutrinos, a tiny subatomic particles produced by the stars and the sun, and they pass through us and leave an imprint or information. And science proved neutrinos have mass in roughly 1998, years after the Ya Uruhu claimed this. And then it also uses your genetics, your biochemistry. The 64 gates of the human design chart directly correlate with the 64 codons of our DNA. So it really just makes sense. And it's crazy because there is just an average, everyday advertiser. He worked in he was an advertising executive and media producer, just a regular guy, not a guru. And his name was Robert Allen Krakauer. And in 1987, the year I was born, he had left his life behind and was living on the island of Ibiza, Spain. Who's been to Ibiza? It is on my bucket list. I need to go. Vámonos! And then on the evening of January 3rd, so right around this time, 1987, he had a terrifying 8-day mystical experience with an intelligence he simply called the Voice. And this voice was in his ear for 8 days and nights, and he channeled a massive amount of detailed information on how the universe works physically and energetically. He was told to write it all down. And when he emerged, he changed his name to Ra Uru Hu. Ra Uru Hu. Ra Uru Hu. Ra Uru Hu. Yeah, go, go. I mean, what would we like? Would this even be around if Ra Uru Hu didn't channel this? This is how important this work is. He could choose anybody, honestly. And he spent the next 25 years of his life teaching this system of human design until his death in 2011. God rest his soul. So it's just kind of crazy that human design is often referred to as a synthesis, and he didn't invent the components. The Voice showed him how 4 ancient systems and 2 modern sciences fit together all in one map that I showed you earlier. And everyone's map is going to be a little bit different. There is some people's that are the same. And it's kind of crazy because you can actually look up who famous is a projector. In my case, that's what I am, and find out that Barack Obama is a projector. Actually, Taylor Swift is a projector. And hold on, I looked it up here. It was kind of interesting because I'm like, oh, wow, like this Steven Spielberg is a projector. And once I tell you about the projector, you'll be like, oh, yeah, that kind of makes sense. JFK, he's a visionary who saw the future. He was a projector. Queen Elizabeth II. Um, and those were the guides that were kind of put. And then, of course, Emma Watson and even Kanye West was a projector. And it's kind of crazy. Love him or hate him, he's a classic splenic projector. And that's what I am. He has zero filter and acts entirely on immediate creative impulses. He doesn't think about his art, he just downloads it. Kind of crazy. So that's what this Ra Uru Hu kind of did with downloading this. And it's just here, let me. So it's so this is how I want to put this. Now, imagine if astrology gave you a personality test. But then quantum physics stepped in to explain exactly how your energy field works. That is human design. It takes the Ching, the chakras, astrology, and the Kabbalah and overlaps them to create a circuit board for you. And honestly, this human design, once you dive into it and find, a lot of people just dive right into it and they buy the book that's available. And there's a ton of different literature out there. And I know some are better than others. I forget what Ellie used, but it was kind of like the authority on human design. And she just dove right in. Like she became, once she heard about human design, she was obsessed. She just kind of really used this book as her Bible and studied it and got to know herself better and therefore was able to share this information with other people. But it's kind of crazy that, people can teach themselves this and the information is out there and all you have to do is get after it and find it. So I just loved when I did the human design like podcast hype on here. It like spoke to me as a true projector. It's like, well, what are you? Are you a splenic projector? And I was like, yes. And so it kind of like showed me like how to do this podcast. And it was like, ditch the script like now. Like you just have to go off what your gut and instinct say. And that just speaks to me. It's so true. That's how I am. I can't plan anything too far in advance. Otherwise, if I'm not like operating from the cuff, then it's just not my true authentic self. And that's just not how I want to show up in this world. So I just wanted to give like a newbie to newbie podcast episode about human design. I am not claiming to be the authority on this. I am just learning myself, but I did think it was very noteworthy and worth a show, a couple of minutes. So it says that it's like giving me permission saying that I do not need to be the encyclopedia. I just need to be the lighthouse for the human design, which is like giving me permission. I'm like, thank you, universe. And I just feel like I found this amazing tool and I intuitively know it can help you. And I need you to go look at it is like point blank, period, like to the point. Go check out your human design. Figure it out. And then once you figure it out, you can talk about it with your significant others and be like, do you think this is true? Like, what do you think about this? What are you? And then you can figure out, different tools on how to communicate together. And then bam, before you know it, you're just skyrocketing to the next level of vibration and frequency. Now you're leveling up, baby. And this is good news. This is very good news. So, like, the human design is kind of like the user manual you were never given. Sometimes life feels hard because you're trying to operate under somebody else's machine. You can't drive a Ferrari like a tractor. It just doesn't work that way. It's literally the energetic blueprint user manual for your specific body. And, this is what we do every day. We try to hustle like our neighbor or rest like our partner, and it doesn't work. Human design tells you what vehicle that you're driving, takes the guesswork out of it for you. And we're just conditioned to be like our not self. We just feel so much pressure to be normal, and we're all born unique. But our school, parents, society trains us to be the same as everyone else, the not self. And human design isn't about becoming a new person. It's about unlearning who you were told to be so you can remember who you actually are. And that's the ultimate permission slip for me. Okay. Don't have to tell me twice. Yes and yes. And I just wanna say that, like, the players there, like, we are not all the same. There's 5 different types of, like, main human design, and we have our generators, and those are the builders. They have that energy, that go, go, go. They are the people that get it done. Okay, we need generators. They are literally like what the name says. They, like, kinda keep the engine moving, they keep it happening, they keep moving. Projectors, like myself, we are guides. We are here to see and direct and not do the heavy lifting. We'll leave that for my husband. He's a generator. And manifestors are exactly what the name is. Like, they are the initiators. They're here to start the fires. They're here to start the movements. And it takes all types, friends. It really does. It just takes all types. And the reflectors. There's also the mirrors out there here to kind of sample the environment and show mirror people. So stop judging yourself for not having the energy of a generator or not having the ideas of a manifestor. You, my dear, my sweet, darling, loved one, as you were blessed here on this earth for a specific purpose divinely given to you by our dear Lord, you are the magic. And this human design gives you permission to be exactly what you are destined to be your whole entire life. So I'm inviting you to get out of your head. Your mind is actually a terrible decision maker, and it's full of fears and shoulds and should nots, and you kind of let the ego run over and take over your brain. But human design teaches you to make decisions with your body, your gut, your intuition, your spleen, your emotions, the chakras, right? And when you trust your body's specific signal, life stops having so much resistance. And then, baby, you are in the flow. And that's what I've been saying all along. You've heard me say it before. I can call it done it. I'll say it again. Get in the vortex. Okay. And the more you understand about it and give yourself permission to be yourself, just exactly your true beauty and radiant authentic self, you can quickly get back into that vortex. And there's other tools to help you too, such as Ho'oponopono. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. But this is like giving you the permission slip that doesn't need a signature from the parents. As I had to sign one for my son today, he's going to go see The Little Mermaid that my daughter Nevaeh is in. She's a sea creature. I'm so excited to see her tomorrow. And I also signed up to be a parent helper to sell raffle tickets. So never done that before, but wish me luck. I know I'm a projector. I can make it happen. Here is the call to action or the experiment. Just be honest, be honest with yourself and be honest with others. I'm just starting this experiment. I have a lot to learn. And it isn't a religion you have to believe. It's an experiment to try. So don't take it so seriously. I feel like sometimes people are like, like I gotta understand it all, or maybe it doesn't all make sense. It's not meant to all make sense. Just trust the process. So I wholeheartedly, sincerely challenge you to go look up your chart. And it's free online. Okay. It's just one Google search away. And find out your type and read it and just see if it resonates. And I would love to hear about it. Okay. Like, you have to promise me that if this is your first time hearing about her human design and you feel so called to look it up, maybe because this is the little nudge that you've been looking for from the universe, you must share it with me. Okay. Like, DM me, email me, text me, call me. Please drop it in the comment section. Maybe, I don't know. There's so many different ways to connect with me here, guys. Please, I want to know what your type is, because I truly believe in this world, we are all here for a reason. We are all here on purpose. And if this was your calling, I want to know about it. Okay. That's part of my Leo cultures. We like to get a little credit here, a little acknowledgement every so once in a while. Not that has anything to do with me. I don't want to be big headed, but I would like to hear from you and know kind of where you are so we can connect on that way. So it's kind of exciting. I will share a little bit of mine with you. I did kind of post like the synopsis into on my Instagram and Facebook page, and it kind of showed the reading that the AI put together off of Ellie Wade's writing that I'm going to be uh, referring to here now. But Hey, the information is at our fingertips, and fingertips, and I think it's really worth getting to know yourself a little bit better on a different level with a different chart and a different playing field, and just different. Okay, you just gotta switch it up every so once in a while. You gotta keep rewiring your hardware up here so we don't get stuck in the rut because the only constant is change, baby. So, as I've mentioned probably several times now, the projector, I think we're only 20% of the world's population. So, most people are the manifestors or the generators, but projectors play a special role in anchoring the energetic template of what we are here to create in the world. And in order to align the energies of the planet and heal and clear the vibration of the collective, we have to hold space for what's to come. Projector energies do this whether we're aware of it or not. Learn to trust in the right timing, divine timing. And it's important to learn to take time to care for yourself and restore your own energy, body, mind, and soul. Learn to value yourself and your own wisdom enough to facilitate the correct experience that reflect your value. My authority is the splenic authority, and that's the instincts and the inner guidance system are my best teachers. I listen to my instincts and get in touch with my inner voice and do your best to follow it. We talked about meditating, so important. You got to get in touch with that inner voice. And I feel like even just reading this, I feel like I've been like saying, meditate, get to know yourself, take that time. And it all makes sense because that's part of my human design chart is I need to be able to connect with that higher self. Otherwise I feel off balance and off kilter and kind of just in a different space. So it totally makes sense to me. The strategy. This is also too what I really resonate with. Like, I know everybody likes to be invited. Nobody really likes to invite themselves, but like, as definitely part of my chart, like it's my specific instructions to wait for the invitation and also recognition. It says right on there, did I not just say that? Ugh. Your advice, knowing, and support will only be really heard if you wait for the invitation recognition before sharing. Otherwise, it will fall on ears that don't listen and it will build bitterness in you for not being seen for the wise woman that you are. I felt that way. I felt bitter when sometimes I'm like, why won't they listen? Why aren't they, why I feel like I'm talking to a wall. Like, what the heck? It's because I was not invited to give my opinion. And so I'm learning just to keep it to myself. Invites only, baby. I also have some profile lines, 6-2. The sixth line passes through three stages. It is profile learning how to be relentlessly authentic and live in alignment, walking your talk and trusting that you're fulfilling your mission when you are aligned. You have to drive to make a world a better place. Trust the phases, trust the splenic authority, and know whether or not making choices from a place of alignment. So it even breaks down like my life in years. It says that the first 28 years of my life is experimentation. Prime time to learn, try things, figure out what doesn't work, has to try everything for themselves, which I did, and then some. Important not to let fear stop you from trying these things during this phase. And I do feel like I was really supported during this phase of my life. My parents were just kind of let me be wild and free. As long as I had my homework in and I didn't get in trouble with the police, I was ready to explore. And I feel like that's exactly what I did. And I also was in a relationship with now my husband, who also gave me the freedom to explore and be myself and never shamed me for not being normal. He just was kind of like, yep, you go, girl. He was just always really supportive and encouraging. So I feel like I really set myself up for success in the position that I placed myself in my life and the people that were, the angels that were in my life and allowed me this time of experimentation. And moving in from 28 years old to 50 years old, I'm in my hermit phase. Now, I don't know if I for sure resonate with hermit phase, but I do think I do feel like I'm like in a learning phase. And that's kind of how I'm conceptualizing it. I do feel like there's so much me, like I want to learn everything all the time and do all the things all the time. So I feel like it's me like collecting information, like gathering the knowledge and like treating like every interaction is like an insight and a download that I can learn from. And it's like someone trying to tell me something. It's God trying to tell me something. And so he's teaching me. And it's the prime time to learn, try things, figure out what doesn't work. has to try I do have to try everything for myself. I'm kind of like just a go-getter that way where I just really want to I have FOMO, but I'm working on JOMO, which is joy of missing out. Important not to let fear stop you from trying these things. Oh, I already said I'm sorry. Digress. Most likely with John from Friends and Social Situations, and that is by design. And it is time to rest and get to know your inner landscape. Be self generous with your rest, healing, learning, and exploring of your own internal creative plane. You now learn from others' experimentations. Hmm. I don't know if I totally think of that, but I have been focusing on my own well being and finding balance between friends and alone time. I feel like that's struggled for me because there is such a huge social part of me that wants to say yes to all the things and be around people and just spread my sweet little love light. But as I am getting older, um, I really do appreciate the time by myself. If you would ask me my favorite thing to do in the entire world, it's to read a book. And that tells me I love my alone time and I love, gathering knowledge, and all kinds of books. I don't discriminate. I really like, murder, mystery, fantasy, self-help, the Bible, as I read it front to back, and I'm working on my second way through. But yeah, I do enjoy being by myself. I love being myself on the farm. It's one of the most peaceful serenity things. When I go for hikes, I like to be alone, I find, me and my dog. Um, Also, I have no problem going out to eat by myself. As a matter of fact, sometimes I prefer it. I'm not gonna lie. I can just come and go as I please, order what I want, when I want, and how I want it. And that's just liberating and freeing in of itself. So I feel like that balance, I'm working on finding the good balance and making that time for myself. And from 50 to death, I'm to be the role model, ready to leave your observatory and be the role model. By this time, you've compiled a wealth of wisdom and you are ready to share it with the world. Sharing only when called upon, you realize your value and answer to the call to your wisdom for the benefit of others and yourself. Oh, yes. So it's good. My purpose is to integrate the knowledge, energy, and wisdom and wait for the readiness of others to call me out and share. Because Sharon is Karen. I'm wise about finding the balance of self expression and self renewal, balancing alone time and being out in the world. And I'm here to experience, integrate, and then demonstrate the highest potential of consciousness on the planet and to quietly show us how to live it. Get it how you live it. And I have a split definition, which means I have two separate energy circuits that do not connect in my design, which means it will take me a bit longer to make decisions, which ask my husband, that's the truth. My will and my spleen are connected to form a circuit. My anja, throat, and G center are connected. Um, and so I really got to work on tuning into my inner voice and taking a moment alone to come to a decision. Try to quiet the mind and feel into your instincts. Success is the projector signature, meaning when you feel successful, it is an energetic reward for living in your alignment. Yes, I'm on the right path. And bitterness is the not self theme for a projector, meaning when you feel bitter or resentment, it is a cue that something is out of alignment. I can definitely say yes to that. It means in my environment, I'm artificial shores. I serve as a bridge and liken to be the psychological carrier, helping others shift from one state to another. Mostly happens by accident, just being around you or when you're being yourself, which I find that to be true a lot. Sometimes I feel like, as I talked about giving myself permission, it gives other people permission to be themselves too when I'm most my true, authentic self. Um, I shouldn't be tied to one location or home. I might always have a trip in on the calendar. Travel is important for you. Yes, yes, it is. I always have at least one or two trips in the go. I just have the travel bug. I just gotta go. And that's part of like my quest for more information and knowledge and wanting to just experience all there is to experience that this world has to offer. And I just feel so blessed to be able to do that. So it kind of goes on to the head that I've opened. I'm a vessel for inspiration, looking for great inspiration. Anja is defined. I hold on to fixed visions, learn to use the power of the mind to expand on possibilities and potentials. I am a visionary. I feel like I get the vision and I really try to execute it. I have a consistent sense of self, which is very true. Hello, ladybug. There's a ladybug on my mic. So cute. Still alive here. I think it could be Nana Nancy. Hello. It probably is. She's like, yes, queen. Get it how you live it, girl. Oh, my will can be on override and used as a motor. Be careful when powering through things like a non-sacral type. To learn to create sustainability and cultivate right value and values that keep you creating with integrity. Yes, that's what we do over and over again. It says my natural emotional state is very calm. That's because my emotional solar plexus is open. And I'm not to let others hijack my emotional energy. And that's what taking time alone is really important. Not just for me, but honestly, everybody on some capacity. Hey, you're here to learn through others' emotional waves, learn to use your emotional awareness to cultivate empathy and compassion. And my sacral is also open. No consistent access to sacral life force energy means that you need more time to rest than generator types. You'll take in their energy and amplify it, which is why projectors can seem superhuman at times. But if you power through with your defined will, it will likely lead to burnout. Learn to experience that energy and use it to see what needs to be done that you can guide others to do it. It is a big lesson to learn and allow others to do the building while you do the guiding. Some people are just better at building. Some people are just better at guiding, I guess. The spleen is defined. It's all about self-trust and courage. My root is defined. I might feel rushed by those who have it defined. Inconsistent access to divine timing must tune into your spleen to overwork it. Work to learn how to interpret adrenaline energy in a healthy way and use it for inspired action in the right time. And these things were cited from Miss Ellie Wade, cited from the Encyclopedia of Quantum Human Design by Karen Curry Parker. Karen Curry Parker is who wrote the Encyclopedia of Quantum Human Design. And I'm not saying run out and go buy this book, but you can at least get in tune with what you are and then see if it resonates and you want to dive in deeper. Same with your zodiac signs, astrological signs. It all really just starts to make sense. And I highly encourage you to do the things. Okay. You can't just go wrong. So that is what I want to talk to you about today. I'm kind of at the time, I'm trying to keep these a little bit shorter so we don't tune you out. But please, for the love of sweet baby Jesus, know that human design is out there and it's here to give you permission to be your most true and authentic self and essentially live your best life as you will come to a better understanding of who you are, why you're here, and what your purpose is, if that's something that you're struggling with. And shout out to the people that are so confident and courageous and know exactly what they're here and meant to do. But I feel like maybe it's just my childlike sense of wonder. I'm like, I'm just a baby and I'm learning all these things and I have a lot of fun doing it. Join me on this action. And I would love to hear about your human design and your purpose. And maybe we can collaborate, commingle, create. That's what it's all about. And that's what the good Lord tells us to do. Do not be afraid. And, love your neighbor more than you love yourself. So let that ego go and really put in the work to better understand so you can utilize your gifts uh, and share them because that's what it's all about. Dee, dee. Here is my shameless plug for you to join me at church, New Life Church off of Highway D in West Bend. I am on the worship team this week, along with some other beautiful musicians. We're missing our drummer this week. It really makes me sad. But we have got a humdinger of some songs that we will be singing in hopes that you sing along with us. Songs like Hallelujah and Rattle. This is the sound of the dry bones rattling. Oh, that's so good. I was just belting it out yesterday at worship practice, and I just feel like I'm levitating when I walk out of there. And I'd love to be able to experience that with you in community and congregation at New Life. So please join us. This is your special invitation. Otherwise, maybe I'll see you on Friday at Cheryl's Club 175, where I work that 9 to 5, and I will project this awesomeness all over you live and in person. Please come say hello. I would love that. Um, Otherwise, an invitation to come see The Little Mermaid at the Performing Arts Center in Slinger. These kids work really hard at this. I only just am now. I remember when I was involved in theater when I was a little girl. I remember the practices being very time consuming and a lot of effort, energy, and tension goes into it. And I see it firsthand with my mini me, Nevaeh Lily. So I'm super proud of her, and I invite you to come do that. Otherwise, on Friday, the 23rd, is my uh, godson Weston's birthday and my nephew James' birthday. They share a birthday. So I see a lot of celebrating in our future. Happy birthday to them. They are so sweet. I know Jimmy is going to be 10 and Weston is turning 6. So happy birthday to those sweet boys. I hope they keep getting out there and being their most true, authentic self as that is what God is calling them to do. And I just love them so much, and I can't wait to give them a big squeeze. So happy birthday to them. I told Weston I would take him tubing at Sunburst. For his birthday, him and his sister, who share a birthday in January, or both the birthday month is January. He's the Aquarius and she is the Capricorn. So it's kind of interesting when you look at their little energies and, why God created them on that specific date and time that he did. So it's kind of cool to view it like that, even with their little sweet energy too, to understand them a little bit more and so you can all be operating from the same, knowledge base playing field. And, there's something else going. There's something happening here. Oh, I did mention my girls' trip on the last, one. I had such a fabulous time with these girls that just knew how to relax and be super chill, and we got to chat and catch up and play games and make some delicious food and go shopping together. And I honestly think that everybody needs a girls' day or a weekend or a getaway at least once a month, if not a quarter. It is a priority. You got to get together with those girls because it is this female fellowship, this motherhood, this sisterhood that speaks so loudly and can just do all the healing that you need it to just in a sweet little weekend. So thank you, Erin, for hosting us at your plate, your home up north. It was lovely, and I can't wait to do it again. And a couple awesome things in the horizon. Slinger Dog Park is having a fundraiser at Cheryl's Club on Sunday. If you could make it, we would love to see you. More information on our social media page. And I actually have a girls' trip coming up next Sunday, so I can't wait to delve more about that in the next episode. Until next time, my friends, thank you so much for tuning in. The badass in me honors the badass in you. Now you get out there and shine your sweet light and make somebody smile because it's contagious. Alrighty? One love, one heart. Let's get together and feel all right. Yoo-hoo! Choo-choo! End. Let's get together and feel all right.